Actually, I think that there should be more teams ranked higher than that. When you start talking about the Wolverines in Wisconsin, those to me are top 15, borderline top 10 teams, And so, yeah, I think it's great for Penn State. I think it's great for Ohio State. But, the Big Ten, if you want to start saying you're the best or second best and challenge the best, you need your top dog to be in the top 10 of the country. And we need, the Big Ten needs to have that done.
We've been dealing with COVID for a while now. We've all been watching it. Big Ten hasn't started yet. What do you think is where the most progress has been made? What's the most important thing that has happened that we've learned since this thing has started with COVID?
Well, I think the big advance has been in testing. And this whole thing about contact tracing, where every coach, every athletic director, everyone was so concerned that without the everyday testing or pretty much everyday testing, for example, you have an offensive center or offensive tackle get tested positive, you contact trace that person, there's a good chunk of your team that can't practice for a while and maybe not compete for 2 weeks. So could you really have a season if that was really a chance that could happen? So I think and I know that the biggest difference is now that the daily testing and the fact that with daily testing, you don't have to contact trace like you did before.
It seems to me the Big Ten will be, obviously they're going to be the fourth Power 5 team to start playing. And Commissioner Warren made a tough decision when he said we had canceled the season. It seems to me, Urban, that what you just said, the daily testing was the one thing that put him and all the college presidents in the Big Ten over the top to think that we could play more safely. Is that how you saw the whole thing turn about?
Well, that's exactly what happened. And that's where, I think the early on to say we just can't play, but, science and testing, this is coming from me and you two coaches talking to each other. However, when you listen and read, like we all have done, that this is all about testing. And the minute that you can test players to say you are not positive so you can keep going on about your day, and if you don't have the ability to test every day, that's when you have those issues. That's when the entire teams could possibly get wiped out. And you're seeing a little bit of that right now where I saw Notre Dame got 25 guys or something that had COVID issues. So that's everyone's number one concern is obviously the health and safety of the players. And if you're able to test and not have to do the contact tracing that would wipe out a team, that gave the Big Ten the ability to move forward.
Along the same lines, you look at Oklahoma and LSU, two top 10 teams that have already lost a game. How much does the virus have to do with the possibility of more upsets as we go through the season?
I think they were directly related to that. I think all routines have been blown apart. You look at all the way back from March to spring practices were disrupted, training camps disrupted. And the biggest issue right now to me, and talking with many of our colleagues, is the contact point of the game. That is blocking, tackling, and ball security. And when you watch those upsets, for Kansas State to beat Oklahoma on a normal day, just talent for talent, Kansas State's not going to beat Oklahoma. And that's no shy against Kansas State. Kansas State, I think their coach has done an amazing job there. I watched that game. If you watch the second half, it didn't look like an upset. But you just look at the recruiting and the number of players probably going to go to the NFL that you'd have to give the edge to Oklahoma. So what happened? To me, it's all about the contact point of the game. And every coach, I can speak for the ones I know in the Big Ten, blocking, tackling, and ball security. How do you teach that without putting helmet on helmet, hat on hat? In my opinion, it's just, you're preparing for contact. You can't really teach those phases of the game without the contact.